The mandala is a wonderful offering of the universe to the Buddha. And now we have talked about offering so much, and we know the merits and we know the benefits. I don't have to talk about that. I'll just show you the actual action of the mandala. The actual act. Come on. I have the actual mandala recitation here in the offering to the mandala, and one should read that well, okay? Therefore, it is of tremendous benefit for you to give rise to this attitude before you undertake any activity. What attitude? Bodhicitta. There is a widely followed practice in Tibetan Buddhism, what is called the 4 preliminary practices, the practice of the accumulation of 100,000 prostrations, 100,000 acts of refuge, we have talked about the first day, 100,000 mandala offerings, which we'll talk about now, and 100,000 recitations of 100-syllable mantra of Vajrasattva. So we should try to accumulate 100,000 of this. On top of that, 100,000 water offering. Now, I had a question from a lady, do I have to buy 100,000 bowls? And I said, no. You offer, if you have 14, you do 14. Then you do 14 every day, 14 every day. How much is that in a week? 7 times 14, 98, isn't it? 7 times 4, 28, 98. So 1 week you have completed 98. Like that, you try to collect 100,000 as much as possible. It will collect the very basis of virtue for you to attain spiritual and material wealth in the future. The Sanskrit word mandala signifies to take something of the essence. The lowest level is to assume a human birth in the future life. The next level is achieving nirvana, and above that level, or the ultimate goal, is attain perfect Buddhahood. So our goal here is not to have the lowest level, which is human birth. The next one is not to just achieve happiness and freedom from suffering, nirvana, but one should actually attain perfect Buddhahood. There's a difference between nirvana and Buddhahood. Nirvana is cessation of suffering in arhatship, arhats. They have not attained bodhicitta, but they have attained freedom from taking rebirth again and again. That is not Buddhahood. So don't mistake nirvana and Buddhahood. People take those words lightly, but it's quite a big difference. So we can say Buddhahood. That's what we want to attain. Further, there are 2 ways in which one can achieve this goal, Buddhahood. One is according to the path of sutras, while the other is according to the path of tantras. Thus, these 3 goals involve 4 different levels of practice, and they also represent the types of essence one might possibly choose to strive for. The particular level one would pursue would depend upon the individual's capacity. In every act we undertake, we are impelled by a specific motivation. It is very important to be aware of what one's motivation are, because they are in fact a determining factor with regard to the consequences or results which follow any given act. For example, if one offers the mandala with a motivation that is the desire to assume a human birth in the future life, then this act will be a cause for bringing about that result. Similarly, if one offers the mandala with a motivation which is a desire to achieve nirvana, although the act itself is identical, the motivation will direct the same act to become then a cause for attainment of nirvana. Regarding the 2 forms of Mahayana practice, both the sutra and that of the tantra, the ultimate goal of both is exactly the same. The only difference between them is the method. All right, is the method. There are many unique properties about the mandala offering. For instance, if one offers one's own material riches to the 3 ratnas, ratnas is 3 jewels, is a Sanskrit name. The 3 ratnas are 3 jewels, or the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. For instance, if one offers one's own material riches to the 3 ratnas for the purpose of paying homage to them, regardless of what the face value of the offerings might be, it is most important for one to make the offerings without feeling the slightest reluctance or unwillingness. However, it is usually the case that in the making of any such offerings, there usually does arise a degree of reluctance. Or if you do not experience such a feeling, you quite possibly will feel some degree of attachment to fame. That is, you might be thinking of yourself, as you are making the offering, this is indeed a wonderful thing that I am doing. How virtuous other people will consider me for making this valuable offering. Due to such an attitude, what would be otherwise have been a truly virtuous act becomes robbed of much of its worth because of the wrong motivation. However, in making mandala offerings, you will hardly be able to experience an ungenerous thought, and there is actually no reason for feeling any desire for fame either. When making an offering of material riches, one must do so in such a way that the offering will not lead to the accumulation of bad deeds. Not only is the manner in which you make this offering important, but also an object being offered should have not been acquired through any devious means such as theft. Here too, it is not actually possible for a mandala offering to have such a fault. There are a few of the unique qualities of the practice which makes it especially valuable. The mandala offering is also very easy to practice because there is very little physical effort required to perform it. Perfect for us. In any description of the many benefits of the mandala offering, one usually is told of the story of the Bhikshuni Petma. Bhikshuni is a Sanskrit word for nun. Petma means lotus, so it means lotus nun. So it's a nun by the name of Lotus. She had been an Indian princess before she became a nun. Through the practice of the mandala offering, she was able to meet directly the Bodhisattva Aya Avalokiteshvara CHEN. As clear as we can see one another here in the room. And by asking for and receiving instructions from this great Bodhisattva, she as a result was able to attain enlightenment. So she made offerings of mandala to Kuan Yin all the time, visualizing offering the universe without miserliness. collecting so much merit that her ignorance was taken away and she can perceive the Buddha herself, Buddha Avalokiteshvara, and to get teachings directly. As a result, she became enlightened. Therefore, this practice is very excellent. Also, the great Tsongkhapa was able to meet many Buddhas by practicing the Mandala Offering. In particular, this practice is extremely helpful to him in his effort to realize direct nature, the most profound of all meanings. Tsongkhapa did 3.5 million Mandala Offerings within his lifetime, 3,500,000. After doing the Mandala Offering, Tsongkhapa had a vision of Manjushri, his tutelary deity, the deity he worshipped and prayed. Right after doing the last of the mandalas, the last obscuration was clear from Tsongkhapa's mind. He had a direct vision of Manjushri, in which Manjushri took his sword, the handle touched his heart, and then the point touched Tsongkhapa's heart, and great bliss and nectar entered Tsongkhapa, removing him of his last defilement, removing him of his last ignorance, and he was completely enlightened, completely and blessed by Manjushri. After that, anytime he prayed to Manjushri, Manjushri would appear to him directly and he could talk. Before the Mandala Offerings, purifying and collecting merit, every time he wanted to contact Manjushri, he had to talk to his tutor, Lama Umapa. So Lama Umapa was a great master who was very attained, and that was one of JRMG's gurus. And whenever JRMG had some point or something to discuss about Dharma, he actually asked Lama Umapa. Lama Umapa, his guru, had talked to Manjushri. Manjushri gave him the answer and then gave it to Tsongkhapa. And that's how he communicated. Later, after doing the mandalas, Tsongkhapa was able to communicate with Manjushri directly. So, another illustration of the great importance of this practice is a story about a meeting between the two disciples of Atisha. Atisha's closest Tibetan disciple, who was an Upasaka. Upasaka means lay practitioner, a non-monk, one holding the 5 precepts. Atisha's closest disciple was an Upasaka named Domdompa. One day visited the place where another disciple named Gomboa was staying. It happened that the latter's ritual instrument for practicing the Mandala Offering was covered with dust, as it has not been used for some time. Domdoa asked the reason why he had not been practicing the Mandala Offerings. Gomboa answered, I spend all my time meditating, so I have not been able to find the time to offer the mandala. Upon hearing this, Domdoa criticized him strongly, saying that even Atisha, their guru, whose spiritual development was so vastly greater than Gomboa's, his disciples, and whose meditation was much more profound than his, offered the mandala 3 times every day. After this, Gomboa practiced the Mandala Offering more assiduously, and so as a result, the depth of his understanding was greatly furthered. These accounts are mentioned for the purpose of inspiring you to take up this practice of Mandala Offering. The weight caused by such misdeeds can only be removed by relying upon the proper antidote. And all the many types of antidotes to the bad karma, the one which is by far the most powerful is the mind which realizes the meaning of shunyata. Then we actually do the Mandala Offering. Very simple and very easy. Now, when you do the actual mandala, if possible, you should have an actual base. All right, you should have an actual base. I will show you the short mandala first. So you should get a base. If you cannot get a real base, it doesn't matter. When I was in America, of course, when I was a kid, I couldn't afford things like this. So what I did is I actually went out and got a plastic cover, and I just used that as a mandala. So you can get anything that resembles this. Jarenji was so poor during his lifetime, he couldn't afford things like that. So what he did is he did mandalas on a rock. He had a huge rock, and on that he would smooth it, and he would use it and use more rocks and visualize stone, precious diamonds, and he put it on that and offered 3.5 million mandalas with that. And he did so many mandalas that his hands, the flesh was torn away. But although the flesh was torn away, he had a vision of Manjushri immediately. So we can even use basic things. We don't have to have silver and gold. Of course, if we can afford more precious items for the mandala, it's better. And do not think of this as one's personal possession. Again, it's offered to the Buddha daily. So one should have a cover for it. And the mandala can be used of grains. It can be used from wheat. You can use dried corn, dried wheat, dried rice. If you can, then you use semi-precious stones and even more precious stones, or semi-precious stones mixed with precious stones, or rice and grain mixed with precious. This is very good. That's been given to me by a friend just yesterday. So it's been washed and prepared for offering. One should make a cover like so, square and a little bit thicker, like that, and bigger, so that it can contain all the stones and also your mandala. All right? It'd be very good. In actuality, in Tibetan style, we put it like so, with the string, and then we put the mandala and all the stuff here, and we do it in our laps. Actually, that's the way we do it. But I'll do it on top here in order to kasa, so you can see it better. All right? So the mandala's base should be visualized as pure gold, lapis lazuli, beautiful, wonderful. And the whole earth, the 3 worlds are completely here, combined here. This is the base. Then your hands should never be empty. Your left hand, you should have Karasa. Jewels inside, so it's not empty. And then you hold it here. Then you visualize the base at this time. Again, you visualize it as your mind. And then this is your delusions. So if you have a lot of anger and hatred, you visualize this as hatred upon your mind and you wipe it away by reciting refuge. Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. 3 times, clockwise. Then again, Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Gurube. Based on the power of regret, based on the power of the 4 opponent powers, you purify. So any negative karma, you have delusion, hatred, anger, impatience, and selfishness, miserliness, anything you put here, you completely wipe away ritually. Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo. You can recite the refuge. Or you can recite Karasa, Vajrasattva. Okay. So usually you do it 3 times. Once, wipe it 3 times. Once, a second time, 3 times. Third time, 3 times. Wipe it well. The reason you wipe it with here is you have a psychic channel here, as I described to you yesterday, that is having the wind energy that develops bodhicitta, that develops wisdom. So the more you touch it, the more you activate it, the wind flows better. Therefore, you achieve bodhicitta and wisdom quicker. So by wiping that, it's very significant. Psychically. Then you do the first one. The short one would be Sashi Pugi Jushi Meto Cham. RIRAB Ninde Gembadi. Panje Shindu Mite Uwan. Or this earth anointed with incense and strewn with flowers, and Mount Meru adorned with the 4 continents, the sun and the moon, I transmute into the Buddha field and offer, may all beings partake the field of supreme purity. So what you do is, this is the short one, but the visualization is long. You put the center, Mount Meru, the 4 continents, then you wipe it. You can do like that. You can even do it shorter. If you're in retreat, you have to do 100,000. Wonderful. These 2 monks are doing their mandalas every single day because of the order from our Guru Khensu Rinpoche, and they're going to do 100,000. So even in their Malaysia, they're doing pujas and stuff late into the night. They're still doing mandalas every single day. So if you're doing a retreat, a mandala 100,000, you can do like that. Oma, Namo Gurube. 1 clockwise, 1 counterclockwise. Slowly, and then don't think, oh, the stone fall out, no merit. Don't think like that, because you have offered it, and it is there. And what you visualize is Mount Meru, Kangrimchi. Then the 4 continents, which is not the 6 continents that we have in the flowers. Everything you can offer here, everything, music, everything fabulous you offer here. Then you grab on here and you offer it up. You visualize that. And then after you have offered up, you visualize you have received the attainment. Then you put it towards you. The reason you put it towards you is to symbolize getting the merit and the realization towards you. That is a short mandala offering that you can do. And that's what you do during your mandala retreats. If you don't have a base, you can do the same visualization, the same words with your hand that I showed you yesterday, putting your right pinky under your left pinky, taking your 2 ring fingers and putting it together. And then your middle finger under the left middle finger, and then each finger, the index fingers grabbing the middle fingers, put it up. This is Kangrimchi or Mount Meru central, and this is the 4 continents. And then the sun and the moon. This is the mandala of the 7 heats. 7 heats, which means Mount Meru, the 4 continents, and the sun and the moon. Sun and moon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sun and moon, 7. It's the mandala of the 7 heats. You can do it this way, or you can do it this way. Now, the best way to do it is once a day is the actual long mandala. For the long mandala, the visualization for the long and short is exactly the same. You can do it in English. You can do it in Tibetan. It doesn't matter. There are certain places where you put the rings, and when I actually put the rings, I'll make a sign to you, and you make a mark on that sheet where you put the rings, all right? Again, you take the base, and you take, so your hand is not empty, and then you put it here, hold it with something inside, never empty, very inauspicious. Then the base is clean and well. Then you take the rice or the grain or the jewels, whatever you have, and you can add jewels to that. And then you take it and you put it on visualizing that it's your mind, and you purify complete. Recite verses of refuge of Ajasata Omaha, BENZA. Or a short mantra, BENZA Sata Home, BENZA Sata. 3 times. You can do more. You can do much more visually, as much as you want. If you have a lot of delusions, you can sit here and just wipe this away all day. It's okay. Then after that, you collect. You collect patience. You collect wisdom. You collect love. Whatever you need the most. For example, if you need to be patient more and less angry, you collect more patience and you visualize that. In fact, collecting the blessings of the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha. Then after that, you take the first sheet. Then you look here. It says extensive mandala offering. BENZA BHUMI AHONG. When you say BENZA BHUMI AHONG, you take one and you put it in the center. All right. BENZA BHUMI AHONG. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. BENZA REKHE AHONG. Then you make a circular motion visualizing iron mountains. BENZA REKHE AHONG. CHAKRI KORWE. Then you put the first ring on. So right there, CHAKRI KORWE RIRAB. Then you put the metal ring on. Then CHAKRI KORWE. Then it says here GYALPO. You see that GYALPO? GYALPO is the third line. When you say GYALPO, it means king of mountains. Then you put it in the center. Put it right in the center. It's not dumping it in. You put it in the center like that. GYALPO, RIRAB, SHAR, LUPAGPO, DZAMBULING, BALANGCHÖ, DRAMINYEN. SHAR, LUPAGPO means the continent of the east. So the east in here is not the way we visualize it in the western compass. East is the one facing us. All right, so this would be east, this would be west, this would be south, this would be north. So east, SHAR, LUPAGPO, DZAMBULING, BALANGCHÖ, DRAMINYEN, which means DZAMBULING, SHAR, LUPAGPO. SHAR means east, SHAR, LUPAGPO. DZAMBULING means south, then west, and then north, like that. So what you're doing is you're doing the 4 intermediate consonants, and then the 8 subsidiary consonants. Then it says here, Ludan, Lupa, Naya, Dan, Naya, Shes. Then the 4 cardinal directions, and each of the 4 cardinal directions, you put 2 more drops. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So first, 1 in the center, then a cardinal, starting from oneself first, and then each of the cardinal directions, either side, 2 more consonants, you visualize, like so. All right? It's not just dumping it on and putting on Michael Jackson, having a good time, stuffing on your Slurpee from 7-Eleven. Not like that. A lot of concentration. BENZA BHUMI AHONG, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, BENZA BHUMI AHONG, CHAKRI KORWE RIRAB, SHAR, LUPAGPO, DZAMBULING, BALANGCHÖ, DRAMINYEN, LUDA, LUPA, NGAYAB, NGAYABZHAN, YODEN, LAMCHOGDRO, DRAMINYEN, Rinpoche, RIWO. Rinpoche, RIWO, Pasang, SHING, DZAMBULING. So each comma that you have is 1 word, and with each word, you should put 1 item. So there it says Rinpoche, RIWO, Pasang, SHING, DZAMBULING, MAMÖ, PAYI, LOTOG. When it says Kolo Rinpoche, you put on the next one, the next ring. Kolo Rinpoche, then you put on the next ring, all right? This way of doing the mandala was passed down to me, and I received the teaching from the great CHEN or Kepa Chimbo, Yishichirim Genten, who lives in the United States. He's a great scholar, a master of Ganden Shatse Monastery. So I received this again when I was around 17. So the lineage comes from my guru, which he has received from his guru, is unbroken again. So Kolo Rinpoche, Nobu Rinpoche, Tumo Rinpoche, Lumbo Rinpoche, Lambo Rinpoche, Tacho Rinpoche, Mapo Rinpoche, Tejin Poen Poen Ba. So you have to coordinate it that it's filled up. When you say that, right? When you say that, it's filled up. So you have to put more. Then when you say Gekmoma is the goddess. The next one should go on. Gekmomas. Gekmomas, you say. Gekmomas, then you put on the 3rd ring. Tengwama, Luma, Karma, Metoma, Dizuma, Nasama, Dijama. Then Nima means sun. Dawa means moon. So you're offering the sun and the moon. So Nima and Dawa. Then you say Rinpoche Duk. When you say Rinpoche Duk, it means the divine, the great parasol, the precious parasol. Then you put this on top, Rinpoche Duk. Then you put the last parasol on. All right? Then Rinpoche Duk, when you have, it's complete. So when you get to Rinpoche Duk, you should be complete. In the beginning, if it doesn't come out perfect, it doesn't really matter. You just try to make it perfect. Rinpoche Duk, then you recite the rest of the words. me ba san shi yi dong wang di da jun jin sa wa dang ye ba che be ben den lama dang ba nam da ye ba du yang lama lo san tu wang do ji chang. It says here ye ba du yang lama lo san tu wang do ji chang. Lama means your guru, lo san means JRMG, tu wang means Buddha, doji chang means Vajradhara. 全部发作活动切把那么信号偶尔只有突厥对对对写事实。You can put your guru's name in there. You can put Keba Du Yan Lama Jisun. For example, Dalai Lama's name Jisun. 电声叫做多吉唱全部发作活动切把那么信号偶尔只有 You can put that, or you can use what they have there and visualize that that's your Lama. That's fine. So Lama is guru. Your guru Losang is JRMG. Tukwan is Buddha, Doji Chang is Vajradhara. 全部合作活动，确保南岸新港务机有推荐准备协助所青年港到做外贸军呢，给他当面的申请上街了。这些往前波国内应该让去走。Then the short mandala comes again, what we just did earlier. Then you recite 三些不举举行面说他2020年把三件程度面对外，这个难道是呢？就把它说 you recite that. You can do other recitations or you can end it right there. So when you do that last recitation, you can chant it very nicely, very beautifully, to the best of your ability, or you can read it through depending on time. So that's the one we were doing earlier, all right? After that, you do Idama Guru, Ratna Mandala Nirayatami. Now on this one, you have the complete world, not just planet Earth, not just this universe. You have the three worlds, the form, the formless, and the desire, and all the four continents, all the universes here. And everything beautiful, wonderful, and fabulous in the universe, all the food, the clothes, all the light, the sun and the moon, the stars, the brocade, gold, silver, diamonds, the mountains and parks and rivers and lakes and natural habitats, and everything wonderful is all here. Restaurants and music and your golf courses, golf clubs, everything you can visualize here is not a joke. Everything wonderful you can visualize here in symbolism. And then you can visualize here, and then you offer it up to your guru. You offer up to your guru or the Buddha that you're contacting. So after you finish, you dump it toward you. So now you dump it toward you. So it would be dumped toward your lap. All right. So if you have it in your lap, you dump it toward your lap. So don't hold it too high because it's not going to be very pretty. So you hold low and dump it like that, visualizing that all the attainments from the Buddha, from the blessings, the feast are brought in. And you have achieved that attainment. And then you can do that mandala offering again. After you finish, you just put everything in. Right? Then you wrap everything up nicely and well with your cloth. Make sure your cloth is a little thicker. All right? Wrap it well and nice. And then keep it well. Then you can keep it under your altar. And then tomorrow you use it again. You use this for your practice daily. When you go travel, if you're going for a long time, take it with you. If you cannot, you can do the short one with your hands. During teachings, before teachings, it should be offered to the Guru and visualize the whole universe. After the teachings, it should be offered all the time. It is most auspicious. And it will collect a lot of merits, for one. So let's remember that you may think, oh, how can put a couple of rocks on there and we visualize the universe? How can that work? And how can that collect merit? On the same basis that if we have an evil mind thinking that we're going to kill everyone, we want to kill everyone, destroy everyone in the world, and we can't do it, but we think that, on that basis alone, we collect so much negative karma. Just on that basis. So whether we make merits or not is the state of mind. So we can offer everything fabulous and wonderful in the world, and whether it's ours or someone else's, it's relative. Even if it's someone else's, it's not theirs forever, it's impermanent, it's relative. We offer everything beautiful and wonderful here. We offer it up to the Buddha without attachment. And on top of that, we can offer also the things that also bother us, we can offer up because it will not bother the Buddha. So you, as I said the other day, you can offer up your mother-in-law. You can offer up your wife's nagging. You can offer up your husband's going out. You can offer it all up here. Not them, but their negative quality. You can offer it all up and give it away. And after you offer it up, you don't have it anymore. So if you offer up these delusions, you're less. You don't have it anymore. Offer everything up. Let's do it in English. It'll have more meaning for us. So again, we take this. Before we do that, we recite refuge in any language. Clockwise. Then anti-clockwise to collect merit. 当给金的给的上那你多了并且上节就把它说，我们benza adamantine golden ground. Benza encircled by outer fence. And when it says outer fence, you make an outer fence. Doesn't matter if it stays on or not. Then, in the center is located Mount Meru, the king of mountains. Then you put the rings on immediately. Then in the center is located Mount Meru, the king of mountains. So you take a big pile and you put it right in the center when you say that. So right when you say that, you put that right in the center, king of mountain. In the easterly direction, which is where the point that's nearest to you. In the easterly direction is the continent called Videha. So you put Videha down. In the south is Jambudvipa. Here. That is our continent, by the way. So it will be to our left. All right. Then to our opposite direction directly, in the west is Godania. So the west would be right here. Right here. Then in the north is Kuru. To our immediate right is Kuru. Then a pair of subcontinents straddles each of those continents. They are Deha and Videha. How do you do that? In the eastern direction, you do it on the right and left. So you have the continents Deha and Videha, right? You don't have to take a measure stick out and see if I'm accurate. You just do it approximately, just approximately, no complications. Then Chamara and Apara Chamaras here, left and right, okay. Then Shata and Uttaramanitinas, and then Kurava and Kuravas. So the consonants are complete, right? Each of the consonants has a unique asset. They are the jewel mountain, the wish-granting tree, the cow supplying one's wants, the crop not needing cultivation. 8 articles are possessed by royalty are the precious wheel. Then you put that on Kolo Rinpoche, right? Kolo Rinpoche, then you put the wheel on Kolo Rinpoche. The precious gem, the precious queen, the precious minister, the precious elephant, and the precious horse, and the precious general, and the treasure field vessel. Treasure field vessel. Then the 8 offering goddesses, when you get to, the 8 offering goddesses are the actress. Immediately when you say the actress, you put this on. The actress offered up, all right? Celestial goddesses. The actress. The garland bearer, the songstress, the dancer, the flower bearer, the incense bearer, the lamp bearer, and the perfume bearer, right? Also included are the sun and the moon. Then you do left and right, the sun and the moon, a bejeweled umbrella, and the victory banner. Here's the victory banner. You put right on top. Then the victory banner is done. Then you take a handful of whatever, and you hold it with 2 hands because it's getting heavy on the left. Adding to this all the abundant riches of gods and men, you recite, complete, pure, and lovely, I offer this paradise to the divine assemblage of the most kind, glorious, holy root and lineage gurus, especially to the Guru Great Sumati Munenta Vajratara. That is Guru Losan Chakwa with a great Gudi Sumatra, which means Jeremti, then Shakyamuni, and Vajratara. Together with their retinue, in your compassion, may you accept it for the sake of all beings. And having accepted it, may you, in your great love, bless all beings, myself and others, mothers equal to the extent of space. Then you recite the earth anointed with incense and strewn with flowers and Mount Meru, adorned with the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I transmute into the Buddha field and offer, may all beings partake of the field of supreme purity. Then, if you want, Idama Guru Rana Mandala Niraya Tayami, then you can leave it on your altar until the evening or until tomorrow's day. Or if you want to do more, then you recite Om Idama Guru Rana Mandala Niraya Tayami. You put it towards you. With both hands, you put it towards you, it should be on your lap. And you visualize all the things coming to you. Then you can do it. If you're in a retreat, you do one long one in the beginning, and then you do the short ones. All right? You do the short ones again. If you're in a retreat, you do 100,000, whatever you like, as much as you like. If you're just doing it once a day, do the long one, and then complete it, and then finish it. It will be a great way to collect a lot of merit. It'll be an excellent way of collecting a lot of merit. It'll be a fabulous way of collecting a lot of merit with little work and based on your pure visualization and pure motivation. It'll be excellent. Now, we should all try to attain one of these. If we can, we should go to our local jewelers, whatever, and make a base like this from pure silver, and then we can make 3 rings like that. Put it according, try to make from pure silver, gold-plated, whatever we can. If we cannot afford that, we can carve it from wood. If we cannot afford that, we can make it from plastic. When I was in America, I made it from cardboard paper because I was very, very poor when I was in America. So I had a plastic base, and then I took 3 rings made from cardboard paper, and I used to put rice in that. And I used to use that all the time. So one can actually accomplish a lot of realizations, purify a lot of negative karma, and collect a lot of virtue by doing this. By doing this very excellent, very wonderful practice. And then, after you finish, you wrap it, put it away. If someone else wants to use it, they can use it. So it's excellent, it's wonderful. This is an investment towards your enlightenment, and once you do this practice as much as possible, as best as possible. And they make fabulous Chinese New Year gifts. Wonderful. To give someone the gift of Dharma, like that. And when you give it, you can give them stones. Even if you can buy stones and offer it to people and put in their mandala, you shouldn't think, oh, it's in their mandala, they collect the gift. No. If you offered it to their mandala and they offer it every day, you collect the amount of stones that you have put it in according to your motivation. So once you do the mandala offering every single day as best as possible. And within this, as I told you, you can use anything. So the best is best, wonderful. You can use gold and silver and all that stuff. In case you leave in a car, it gets stolen, never mind. It's been offered up to the Buddha. Give him a new one. Don't be disappointed. Don't be attached. It's not yours. It's the Buddha's item. All right? So mandala is a fabulous way of collecting merit. Try to make it well. It takes time to perfect, right? Try to make it well. As you do it more and more slowly, the recitation will come to your mind spontaneously. I guarantee you, it will be memorized very easy. I never consciously memorized this prayer or this recitation. It just came into the mind from doing it every single day. It will be very easy for you. And once you do it every single day, the great Master does mandala offering every single day. My guru, who has done, I told you, 100 million mantras of meditation. And he is fully enlightened. He is fully attained. He has clairvoyance. He has all the powers. He's a pure monk. He has samadhi. He has attained everything. Yet he still does the mandala. His Holiness, the great Dalai Lama, the current Dalai Lama, does mandala offering every day. Not one like us. Or we don't even do one. Every day, so many does. 10, 20. I saw on the video what he does all day. He does mandala every day. So when such enlightened beings offer mandala, we can see that it definitely has a purpose. We can even be very creative if we can. We can make a beautiful mandala and put stone on, put nice inside, whatever you created. You can make it yourself. You can make it Malaysian style. You can even make the mandala flat. If jewelers around here can't do this, I think goldsmiths and all that. But you make it flat, nice, beautiful base. Okay. Make sure the base is slightly concave so that the stones will fall off easy, and then also it'll stay on nicely. A little bit concave. And even during your process, if it bends and breaks a little, never mind. Don't be superstitious. Can't have any bad effects. In fact, if it's a little bent and broken from your use, it's a good sign. If it's brand new and shiny and wonderful, kept in the corner collecting dust, it's a bad sign. Whatever, try to do the best you can and make mandalas every single day to the Buddha, because you can collect the amount of virtue that you're offering the whole universe up to the Buddha on the basis of your visualization. Yeah? Well, what happens is, why don't you dedicate it to a Buddhahood and you'll traverse Arhathood. If you dedicate it to Arhathood, once you get there, the merits finish. Why do you want to? No. I'm not saying you want to, but I'm posing a question to ask you a question. Why would you want to dedicate it to Arhathood? Why would you say to yourself, okay, I want to finish 12th grade, and let me make my motivation, I'll finish 6th grade. Just say I'll finish 12th grade, 6th grade comes along. And then when you make the virtues toward 12th grade or Buddhahood, Arhatship comes automatically. You don't have to think about being Arhat. You will become one. It is just along the road. So you dedicate it to Buddhahood, all under comes along the way without having to think about it specifically. Understand? So dedicated toward Buddhahood, it's much greater. And all that, Bodhisattva, Arhat will be included. Because without being an Arhat, you can't become a Buddha anyway. So pray to be a Buddha and you'll become an Arhat automatically. Whereas when you become an Arhat, you have to make an extra effort to become a Buddha again. Start all over.